Hi everyone, so this first chapter that we're going to go over is Chapter 1 on cellular biology. If we think back to the biology classes that we've had in the past, we'll remember that there's two types of organisms, the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. The eukaryotes are more complex, they have membrane-bound organelles and a well-defined nucleus, and the prokaryotes are more simple organisms. It's important to remember the different functions of a cell, like movement, conductivity, metabolic absorption, secretion, excretion, respiration, and communication. The more complex eukaryotic cell has a nuclear envelope with a nucleolus that has DNA. It also has histone proteins and participates in cell division. Within the cytoplasm of a eukaryotic cell, there's the cytoplasmic matrix, the cytosol, and the cytoplasmic organelles. Some of the organelles of the eukaryotic cell include the ribosomes and the endoplasmic reticulum, which is the site of protein synthesis. The Golgi complex is where proteins from the endoplasmic reticulum are packaged, similar to that of a post office. Lysosomes and peroxisomes also play an important role in the digestion and breaking down of certain substances within the cell. The mitochondria is another very important organelle as it participates in oxidative phosphorylation to produce ATP, or energy. The cytoskeleton of a eukaryotic cell is made up of microtubules, centrioles, and microfilaments and acts as the bones and muscles of the cell. The plasma membrane controls the composition of the cell and is made up of different structures as the caveolae, lipid bilayer, and carbohydrates. Proteins within the plasma membrane have many different functions, such as receptors, transport, enzymes, surface markers, and adhesion molecules. Under certain circumstances, proteolytic cascades can occur to induce reactions such as the coagulation of blood or the destruction of cells, or an immune response. Cells can also come together by using the extracellular matrix to produce fibroblasts, collagen, elastin, and fibronectin. When cells come together, it creates cell junctions, such as desmosomes, tight junctions, and gap junctions. These adhesions, or the coming together of cells, facilitate cellular communication through a direct link-up, the gap junctions, or using hormones to signal one another, using the paracrine and autocrine systems, or neurotransmitters. Signals or messages can be sent from one cell to the next using extracellular first messengers, channel regulation, or second messengers, such as the CAMP or the calcium pathways. Metabolism is essential for cellular functions. The two types of metabolism are anabolism and catabolism. Adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, is created from the chemical energy contained within the organic molecules and is used in the synthesis of organic molecule muscle contractions and active transport. Cellular energy comes from digestion, glycolysis, the citric acid cycle, or oxidative phosphorylation. Things can also sometimes move across a membrane using passive transport, like diffusion or passive mediated transport, filtration, osmosis, or tonicity. Items can also move across a membrane using active transport, which is protein mediated, and through the use of active transport pumps. Cells can also carry and transmit electrical impulses through the action potential of depolarization, threshold potential, repolarization, the refractory period, and the hypopolarization and hyperpolarization. It's important to remember the cell cycle. It starts with interphase, which is made up of the G1 phase, the S phase, and the G2 phase. which is then followed by the prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and then telophase. Certain things can influence the cell cycle, such as cellular division rates or growth factors like cytokines, and those that are platelet-derived. Tissue formation occurs through founder cells using chemotaxis, contact guidance, and cellular reproduction. It's very important to remember the types of tissue found in the body, such as the epithelial tissue. There's the simple or stratified, squamous, cuboidal, columnar, the pseudostratified, and the different structures, such as the cilia and microvilli. Our body, of course, is also made up of connective tissues, which is made up of fibers. There's loose and dense connective tissues, and also the elastic and reticular. And this is mainly made up of the cartilage, the bone, the vascular system, the adipose, and the organs. There's also the 3 muscle tissue types, which is the smooth, the striated, which is the skeletal, and the cardiac. It's also important to keep in mind the different types of neural tissue, which include the neurons, the synapses, the axons, and the dendrites. This concludes the Chapter 1 overview of cellular biology.